Okay, hello everyone. I'm excited to share with you more about how to avoid the comparison game. So I do have some slides. I'm going to share my screen. And I think with the Canva, it still comes out right. We figured that out. So probably want to mute you all, or if you're not muted while we're doing the recording, and then we'll open it up at the end for discussion. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So I don't think this is going to be too long. I think this is kind of like down to the point. I'm kind of like a down to the point kind of girl. But it is a big part of our business, right? I mean, it's hard, especially for women in particular, I believe. We have a hard time like not comparing ourselves, right? Because we have so many hats we wear, right? We're comparing ourselves to being the best mom, the best wife, right? The best worker, right? We tend to be a little bit more selfless in having to do it all for everyone, right? And so we really start to get kind of down on ourselves, right? Because we're comparing ourselves to some kind of ideal, right? That probably doesn't even exist, right? It's probably all in our head. And so I'm going to share some more about how to avoid the whole comparison game. And I love this statement because it's really true. Comparison steals your joy, your peace of mind, and ultimately your confidence, right? Have you seen that even in business? Is when people start comparing themselves, all of a sudden they think they can't do it anymore, right? Because they're looking at something that's not even like their direction or purpose, right? And it really is. It really is a confidence downer when you're always comparing. But we do get to make a choice. And so that's the nice thing. So not to stop comparing yourself, it really boils down to making a choice to not engage, right? And that's where the choice comes in. And these are just, I'm going to share some best practices with you guys. So be others focused, right? What does that mean, right? So especially when you're on social media, right? It's the digital age and you're doing the scroll, right? And you're like seeing everyone's fabulous lives and all these great things that are going on with them, but it's not their real life, right? Most people put things on social media that has really little to do with their actual real life, but we get stuck in that mindless scroll, right? So there are a lot of distractions out there, especially I even find myself doing this where if I'm not in the right mindset, I'll sit there and I'll just look at my phone and I'll start looking at everyone else and what they're doing. And then all of a sudden I feel really bad about myself. You guys ever feel that way? Right? So we have to remember that our digital tools like social media, there's a time and a place, right? Just say, I'm going to get on social media for 10 minutes, set a clock, right? If that's a distraction for you, or you find yourself feeding into that comparison game. And here's the other thing is when you love on others, it takes away from what you're negatively focused on. So instead of going on social media and doing the scroll, do it intentionally, right? Start loving on your fellow teammates' posts. Start loving on somebody else, right? Start spreading the positivity. And then all of a sudden, what you thought was negative, right, doesn't become negative anymore. You actually look forward to getting on social media or doing those things that you thought were a distraction or you were feeling down about. Learn to set boundaries, right? I think we all know our triggers, right? We all know when we start to overthink. I'm a big overthinker, right? Introverts usually are. I love to overthink everything. And so I have to remind myself of my own personal triggers and kind of be proactive and kind of not put myself in those positions because I may not handle them very well, right? Or it may completely do a whole mindset shift and then I've got to come out of that. So be constantly aware of your own boundaries and triggers. And this is a good one too. Be supportive, never jealous, right? That's really hard. Especially when we are so competitive because we're in this company to get to a higher rank, right? To level up, right? to get more, bigger, more rewards, more recognition, right? Some people can sometimes feed off of that, right? But it's not a good place to be, right? You should always be cheering your friends and teammates' successes, right? On there, it doesn't take away from your own present or future victories, right? What other people are doing in the moment has nothing to really do with you, right? And when you're being supportive and not jealous, then you can celebrate people and their wins, but also it helps you to be inspired, right? Be inspired by their successes, right? If someone hit corporate director and you've been wanting to get to corporate director, like, don't feel down about it, about you, right? Go celebrate them, right? Say, if they can do it, I can do it, right? Be inspired, learn and follow successful people, right? Successful people are there for a reason. It wasn't handed to them. I know some people think that, oh, they just got lucky, right? Oh, they just this, they just that. No, I guarantee you every successful person will tell you all the failures they had, right? They'll have lists of failures. They'll have so many stories, right? You just may not see that, right? But be inspired by their journey, right? Get to know your successful leaders and be inspired and learn from them, right? See what they're doing. Maybe ask them some questions, right? I think all of the leaders on our team always get reached out by other different team members, and they inspire me, right? Share a tip to your success. And I know Tina and Kelly are very generous. All of the corporate directors are very generous in sharing all their successful tips, right? Get inspired by that. And then, of course, right, you should concentrate on you and what you do well, right? We all have certain strengths, right? We all came into this business and company with different unique talents, different life experiences, educational backgrounds, right? We tend to compare our weaknesses to other strengths, right? That's the whole mindset game that we play with ourselves, right? The comparison game. When in reality, we should be focusing on this, right? What talents do you have? What unique background can you bring to your business and to other people, right? When you start focusing on you and what you can do, everyone around you doesn't seem to affect you as much, right? And I love this quote, and I think about it all the time, is you can't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 29, right? You don't know what they did to get there, right? We all may have joined the company at the exact same time. Let's just say we all did, but did we all come in with the same talent, strengths, life experience? No, there was a whole background story before we even came into APL Go. And then this is a big one. Cultivate gratitude. Have you ever been out there with the people who are just so grateful about everything, right? Instead of saying something negative, they're saying something that they're thankful for, right? We do it a lot around Thanksgiving, but it's really all about a whole mindset shift, right? Because what you really think and focus on grows, right? When you're grateful, when you're positive, that will grow. And I'm a big believer that it always comes back to you too. Do you notice that people that focus on the negativity, the comparing, the jealousy, right? That's what they get in life. And I love this too. Did you know when you feel grateful, it's impossible to feel any negative emotion at the same time? Try it. It's really true. When you're having a grateful thought, there is no negative, right? It's only positive. And so again, define your version of success and happiness. If you haven't already defined it, right? So success is going to look different to everyone. And if you're not clear on what that version looks like for you, you will feel victim to someone else's version or society's version or whatever it is, right? So success could be, gosh, just, having 2 new associates and new customers for the month, right? Versus someone else may be like, oh, I got to get 10, right? Your version of what success looks like. Some people just want their car paid for every month, right? Some people may need to replace an entire income, right? Some people just want the community, right? They just want certain things out of their business. So their version of success and happiness maybe look completely different than somebody else's. And life is too short to worry about what other people think. I wish I knew this a long time ago. I feel like I would have been so much further in my life if I didn't have to worry about what other people think, right? Again, it's a choice. I love this quote. Again, I'm all about the quotes. When you're 20, you care what everyone thinks. Think about it when you're 20. When you're 40, right? I'm in that range. You finally stop caring about what everyone thinks. But when you're 60, you realize that no one was ever thinking about you in the first place. And for those ladies and men that are out that are 60, are you nodding your heads? Yep. We don't learn that, right? You don't learn that. It's again, but get to the 60-year-old mindset, right? The quicker you get to where you realize nobody is ever thinking about you in the first place, right? You're going to get so much further in your life. It's just too short to worry about other people's opinions, right? There's that quote that other people's opinions are none of your business, right? It's a deterrent. It holds you back from really accomplishing what you need to do. So I'm going to end it with 4 important questions that you should be asking yourselves. Okay, since we're going through this, and you can take a screenshot, or I can share this after the training. But really think about this: if you struggle with the comparison game, what benefits do you get from playing this game? Right? What benefits you from comparing to other people? I don't know if there's any, to be honest. I can only think of negative things. Think about someone you've been comparing yourself to. How can you begin to celebrate them? Right? I think there's a few. I mean, there's probably somebody that popped up in your mind. That maybe you're feeling a little jealousy or hesitation. Do the opposite. Start to celebrate them. Think about how you could support them, right? It's going to change your mindset completely, right? Something that's been holding you back. What are you and your team potentially missing out on because you are downplaying what you have to offer? Think about that. Are you holding back some talent, some life experience? Are you holding back your story? Stories are some of the most inspiring things. Stories actually are a huge part of your business. It's what gets people to know you, trust you. They sell, right? A testimonial is a story, right? I just paid my mortgage with my APL Go payday. That's a story, right? And you may have some holistic medical background. You may have marketing background. You may have some kind of educational experience that you're holding back, right? Maybe you're really good at making graphics, right? Don't downplay what you have to offer. If it helps you and someone else in your team, in your organization, you should be freely giving that and developing those talents and strengths. And then lastly, complete the sentence. I am grateful for this truth about who I am. Think about a truth that you're grateful for about yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back. Start realizing that this is all about you, right? And the only person you should be competing with is yourself, right? You need to be the best version of yourself. That's it. It doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. I'm a big believer, I write down my goals and I write down my numbers. And it doesn't matter if, someone else out there is being a rock star and passing me up. And, yeah, it feeds me a little bit, right? Because I'm like, oh man, I want to do that too. But I always just look at what I've accomplished in the past and I've just tried to be a little bit better, right? If it grows my numbers on my team, if I get more personal recruits, right? I'm just trying to be a better version of myself. And if I have to get out of my comfort zone and do something a little harder than I never thought I would have to do, right? Like take on those challenges, but compete with yourself. Do it for you so that you grow for your own self and for no one else. And then just a couple of quotes. Every minute you spend comparing your life is a minute lost creating your life, right? What a waste, right? Life is so short. And the only thing worth comparing is who you are today, right? So with who you were yesterday. So again, every day is a new day. Compare what you did yesterday to what you're going to do today. And that is it. That is what I got. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the share and I want to open it up for discussion.